Hey, this is Ronald Carroll from Mad Skills University. And today I want to show you how I cost effectively and efficiently upgrade a part of this house that we purchased. And the goal was to create, we had 3 bedrooms with old nasty carpet. We got a deal on some tongue and groove laminate flooring. We installed that. We also, if you want to change your cover up or lipstick, popcorn or ugly drop ceilings, we did that. We changed some railings and extended the stairs here to the lower right. I'm going to show you very quickly without a bunch of video how I did that. And I like taking old buildings and restoring them. And a lot of times when you're doing a project, you really don't know whether you're going to have, just a little fight or if you're going to a battle or if you're going to war. Because once you do demolition, that's when, the severity of the problem reveals itself. So with this particular project, first we had to remove these old cabinets and this countertop because it was blocking access or view to the dining room and the living room. As you can see, it was held together by these pipes, so we had to cut that pipe to do that. So we started with number one. So once we removed the countertop, we had a 3/4 inch gap to fill, and it was about 54 inches long and 19 inches wide. So I got some 3/4 inch plywood, cut it to spec, and put that in so we can smooth out the floor. We had to cut that pipe, of course, I told you before, to get those cabinets down. So once I cut that pipe, I had to fill that. So I was able to find some, I think it was a 4 sheet by 8 sheet, 3/4 inch or so. It might have been 2 inches, I'm not quite sure. But I think I got two of those to fill that, and I cut that to size. The width on the top was about the same as the width on the bottom cabinet. So I put that there, and we just took small little screws to hold it up. But the goal here was to flush that out. So when I started laying any kind of ceiling solution up there, it will be relatively flat and smooth. And then, of course, when we cut the cabinet down, now that left a hole here. So we had to create a frame here so we can apply some 1/4 inch plywood to this to create some kind of semblance of a wall ending it. And this is just temporary. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this long term, but I need to create something to fill that hole. And number three over here to the right, put some corner beads on it and just mudded it out. It's not perfect. So this is a little bit of post demolition of those cabinets and countertops. So we got 1, 2, and 3 done. Number 4 here, we need to replace this flimsy railing. We had the same kind over here, but this was replaced by a contractor. And then the white box here, we need to replace this. And then once we do that, we're going to extend the stairs. And I'll show you how I did that. But this railing, I just copied that same concept with 2x6s to fix number 4 to replace the railing here in number 4. Everything here was kind of brown, so we just put a temporary white up here just to soften it up. So the rail here on the left side is what I replaced with the one on the right side. And I used basically 2x6s to frame it out. I used a 2x4 here as a brace on top, and then a 2x4 on the bottom as well to brace that. And then the spindles here were just 2x2s. And as you can see over here, I cut the top off of that white box you saw earlier, number 5 in the previous picture. So I cut the box. That was pretty simple. Just used a saw, and there was nothing really there. But the bottom is where the problem is going to come in. So once I get the bottom out, then I'll know what I'm dealing with. I'm going to switch over really quick to how to remove a carpet because you pay people a lot of money for that. Cut the room this way so you have it in 4 different pieces. And this is just one side of that. And what you'll see is that you have to remove the little ruler thing here. And there's going to be small nails that's circled here in red. You just need to get up under that ruler thing and pop it up and use whatever apparatus or tool you want to use for that. Use a Wonder Bar. You can use a screwdriver and a hammer and just tap it and pull it up. So that's the first thing you're going to want to do. And if you see, there's a carpet over here to the left, but below that, that's an underlayment. And they use staples. And these staples are best or most easily pulled out with a pair of pliers. And then when you're done with that, scrape across the floor to make sure that everything is out. I told you before, I spent $800 for 2,400 square foot of laminate tongue and groove flooring. This was a demolition job. I found it on OfferUp. So if you can find deals like that, do it. These, I priced them out, were about 54 bucks a box. During the demolition process, surely they messed up some tongues and some grooves, and I don't know, 20% of the boards were just totally unusable. But I had enough to do the entire house, including after I took the carpet out of the 3 bedrooms. I was able to redo the bedrooms, the hallway, the kitchen, and the dining room, and they are water resistant. If you go to Home Depot, you can look at this tongue and groove flooring. And they have wood, they have laminate, they have waterproof. So I can cover 24 feet for 99 bucks. You need to know the size of the room. Here's your tongue over here and the grooves on the other side, and these just pop together. Additional pieces you can get like quarter round. But if you buy your materials, you can save money and then have a contract put the stuff in. Know the facts, DIY the basics, better manage the results of any project. If I'm doing tongue and groove flooring, what I normally want to do is start with the longest part, straightest part of the room. I can usually buy a little snap chalk kit like this and just snap the room so I know where the center of the room is and how long it is and divide it. So if the longest part of the room is up here or if it's down there, I want to start with the longest part of the room. With tongue and groove flooring like this should be offset. So if this first row I'm going to start with a long piece, the second row should start with a short piece, and so on and so forth, long and short. And since they lock together, the whole floor needs to move together. By offsetting the pieces on a per row basis, it gives you a stronger floor. So make sure that also all of your smaller cuts and imperfections are in corners and tucked away. Never have that in the middle, of course, of your room. Now, contrary to what I just said, there's sometimes when you don't have access to a long part of the room. In this particular case, it was important to me that I had a straight line going down where the stove was here, going up down to the stairwell. So that was important to me. You also have to make sure you leave room for the floor to expand and contract. So place these little markers here, and you can buy the kit. You see it to the left. I think I paid 20 bucks this kit, and you get a little hammer and a little, rubber hammer, and like this, a black hammer you see down there, and a little tool to knock everything into place. And this flooring here, I told you it was a demo flooring. It's used, so we haven't cleaned it quite yet. We did end up cleaning that, but you can see there's a tongue, and then there's a groove, and they just snap in. And a lot of times this is used, so sometimes I didn't have a tongue or didn't have a groove, but these just really pop in very effortlessly. So I'm going to show you that. I'm trying to do this with one hand as I record this, so that's why it's taking a few seconds here. But you pop it in on this side, and let me get this in, hold on, like that, and then just let it rest, and then just pop it in on this side, lift it up, and just snap it down, and that's it. And now you see why and how they move together, because once they're tongue and grooved, they become one unit. Otherwise, you might get buckles, you might have some of the flooring pop up and snap off and start chipping away. If you do it right, pretty simple to do. You can also get a floor laminate cutter for like 100 bucks that's easier to cut it. Some people use X-Acto knives. Okay, lipstick on a pig, or we're gonna do some ceiling lipstick. But the first thing I had to do was, some of these tiles are coming down, so I had to take small screws and go everywhere along the ceiling to put those tiles back up so they were there securely. That was number one. Then at that point, I had to cover up the gap. I showed you that earlier. Now, if I just Google glue up ceiling panels, these are tiles, you can see they're everywhere, and you can find whatever one you like or design. And just, I would buy a few pieces first and see how it looks. You see, if I go to Amazon, one piece is $3. If I want to cover 256 square feet, it's about 350 bucks. $3.59, this is only for $2.42, and you get a couple of boxes of those. You need glue to glue it up, and this will be the glue, or any glue like this. And you get 4 packs of those for 28 bucks. I think I bought 4 packs. And remember, this is different. When you're doing ceiling panels, you want to identify the center of the room, and you start in the center of the room and go left or right, and you go one square at a time in terms of this being 4 separate segments. And then make sure here that all your small cuts like that are in the corners. What I like about these styrofoam panels is that they're very easy to work with. They break very easily, so be very careful with them. You just put glue on the back of them and just put them up. And once you have the ceiling squared off and you know where your center point or your start point is, put it up and just go down your line. the stairs. So this stair, the goal here was to get rid of that box and create a railing going down where I can still close that gate you see and latch it so I can keep my dog in. So I got that done, but I still have to extend the stairs here and do a lot more work and of course, put a varnish on it. But this is how I created that. And again, same thing, I use 2x6s, 2x4s, and 2x2s. And you can look at this design and pretty much figure it out. This stairs, everything complete, cost 300 bucks. And you can see over here to the left, I still have, I don't know, 6-inch gap over here now because the box was over here. Now I have the railing, but I still have to fill that gap. I'll show you how I did that. So what I did was just created blocks. On the left, I had these little 2x6s, and then in the middle pictures, you can see I used 2x4s, and I had to rip one of the 2x4s to fit. And I created a riser on top here, and these are the boxes I created. Inside the box itself, I have the lip, and I have also the riser, and I changed the shape and size, of course, of each step. The bottom step didn't require any of that. I think I put a piece of 3/4 inch plywood. I also realized that there was a piece of the flooring here hanging off to the left here I'm showing you in the video. So I had to end up putting two 2x4s there to make sure I had support for the floor. So this is what I did to create the square boxes and to extend the stairs. These blocks, the automatic risers and lips in them, worked out pretty good. Now here, as you can see, if you look to the far right, you see where I applied shimmies to the front of the stairs here on the extensions. And it didn't have to be perfect because I'm going to use a nose piece on these stairs to make everything blend together. One small problem that I ran into is when I tried to use the laminate as part of the riser and the floor solution here. The riser was too far in, so I had to take a few 1x4s and cut little pieces and put them here, and that brought the riser of the flooring, laminate flooring part out more, so it fit better. They fit together pretty good in that corner. So as you can see here, on the top shelf, I put in a just temporary nose piece to see what it looks like. But this is how this finally came together. And it worked out pretty good. By putting that little blocker there for the riser area, everything fit pretty snug and it snapped in. And now I just have to put in nose pieces everywhere and kind of put the trim in, and it's coming together. As you can see, I stained the right rail. And I have to also, of course, do the floor level here. I took the carpet out though on the landing area on the floor, going into the living room. So we're ready to move on, and this is how it progressed. Okay, so I'm not quite done here, but as you can see, and this is really dirty. I've been going up and down the stairs, so I haven't cleaned it yet. As you can see, this is how it's come along so far. I'm not done. There's a lot of different things I have to do with this, but it turned out pretty good. So we got the new rail put in. We connected that to the gate, and the gate has also been varnished the same color. So it locks now on the top and the bottom. And we got everything going. I mean, we also have a threshold on the bottom here. And again, I have a lot more work to do. I have to fix that wall there. I have to smooth things out. I'm probably gonna do some more sanding here and cover up some of the screws and just do some more fine-tuning stuff. But so here are a few contractor tips. Try to get 3 quotes, get everything in writing. Try to make sure you get somebody who's insured, bonded, and certified. Make sure they have references, and you can see previous project photos. 30% to me deposit's okay. It covers some of the material costs, but 50%, I have a question mark with that. If permits are required, get them, and also know who the inspector is working your area, because if you need them, they can save you a lot of money, headache, frustration, and time. So you really, the inspectors, when it comes to a permanent project, and especially if you're spending $20, $30, $40,000, I think you should have them on your side, and they should be your friend, and they're not your enemy, because they get to check up on the work to make sure the contractor is doing the job correctly. And if they're not, they can stop the job and get it done correctly, or tell you no, whatever. And also go on YouTube and see how that job is supposed to be done. Even if you don't know what you're looking at least you'll have an idea of what's supposed to be done. And then lastly, think of remodeling. When you do demolition, you don't really know the total extent of the project. You know, you take, I'm going to redo a bathroom, you take it apart and you see leaks behind the water, the walls, and there's leaks everywhere. You have to fix all that. So it could be a fight. There's always going to be a fight. But once it goes into the battle mode, it gets a little more expensive. But if it becomes a war and you find things like leaks and water damage, then it's a whole different story. So keep that in mind. But good luck on any projects and remodeling. You can do this yourself. It's not difficult to do, as you can see. It's just one, two, three. Look at a couple of YouTube videos and try it out. But if you need somebody who's certified, don't play with gas or electrical or things you don't know what you're doing, and don't hire nobody who isn't certified when it comes to key things like your gas. Thanks for watching. You have a great day and good luck with your home. Let's try to keep the cost down. And our goal is to get a better grip on our home, right? So this video hopefully will help you do that. If you have any questions, leave them below and I'll be more than happy to answer them. If you want to see